Hey guys, I am excited to talk about what a plant medicine ceremony is like and why you may want to do one in the near future. Because it is truly life-changing. All of our power, all of our joy for life, all of our peace, all of our abundance even, it comes from authenticity, being truly authentic to your heart, to your soul, and living a life that is aligned in that. That's what leads to fulfillment. That's what leads to a life that feels good. And that all comes from presence. Your ability to come into the present moment and slow down and actually enjoy yourself. But everything in our society has told us the opposite for if you want to have a successful, happy life. You need to hustle. You need to work really hard. You need to work a lot of hours. You have to make lots of sacrifices to make money and be successful. And sometimes, people will go out and they'll make a bunch of money and they'll get really good at making money, but they won't have any happiness. They won't have any fulfillment. The relationships won't feel alive. They won't feel really alive. They'll just feel like they've done all this work for what? Because the temporary external pleasures and things like that, they're not really satisfying. They're not fulfilling, And as we're awakening to the truth of who we are as a people, more and more, there are truths that can only be experienced when you alter your state of consciousness tremendously in a very drastic but safe way. And the safe way is really learning to trust. And what are we trusting? We're learning to trust that the present moment is loving, always. That it is safe to be just here and now in the present moment, and you don't have to worry about anything else. Because that is how loving the Creator is. That is how loving God is. And we are one with the Creator. The Creator and the creation are not separate. But who we are, who live with this perspective of being focused on this body, this lifetime, this incarnation, our only real objective, if we break everything down, if we strip all of the complexity of life away, the objective is just to be present and create a reality that you enjoy. But we are made of energy, and we are made of energy cycles and patterns that flow through us as emotions, as really, because everything is energy, all of our actions are flowing in this. All of our mental patterns are flowing in this. All of our emotional patterns are flowing in this. And so we have to actually start to completely shift our way of thinking. And that means we have to break the stranglehold that the conscious mind has on what it thinks reality is. Because you can awaken and learn about these ideas and take in a lot of content and stuff and open up to new ideas and expand your mind and stuff, and that's great. But if you are not creating real experiences of the fact that you are consciousness and you are choosing your reality, and you have an inner guidance system using your emotions to navigate what feels aligned and good to you as far as your choices and your lifestyle. And so we have to heal these things. We have to break the mind's grasp and control, because it wants to try and control reality. That's how so many people hustle and make money, is they find a bunch of things that they can try and control, different methods or whatever, or a certain way of being, and ultimately it does not lead to satisfaction and happiness the majority of the time, and certainly not sustainable. And if we want to really create a life that feels so good to live, because we all are worthy of that. That's just, as a free being in existence, because that's who you are. You are a free, unique expression of the Creator who is free to co-create what their heart, what their soul truly desires for their life to be. And when we come into an experience where we don't know who we are, and most people don't know who they are, there's a lot of wounding. There's a lot of misperceptions. There's a lot of things that are not based in love, that are propped up as powerful things, you know? But at the end of the day, feeling abundant and feeling alive and feeling loved and feeling supported and feeling guided and feeling taken care of and feeling all of these things that the Creator is offering us all the time, to actually feel that, you have to connect with the truth of who you are in a very real, powerful way. And so what plant medicine, especially psilocybin, helps us do is bring all the walls of the conscious mind down. And then we get to experience the trueness of who we are. So in a ceremony that I would lead, I'm holding space for you to rise up to places that I have already been to. And of course, then on the other end of the spectrum, to go down into places that need to be seen and felt, that are holding illusions within us, deep illusions, misperceptions, limiting beliefs, fear. And to do this in a way that is what I would call safe, is to have a guide who knows how to navigate these illusions, how to discern fear and truth, how to stand up to fear and illusions, how to completely transform your subconscious mind. Because ultimately, what is reflected in our external reality is a reflection of what's going on subconsciously for us. Because that's where our energy patterns and habits and different triggers and all these things, that's where they're all living. That's where they're all there. And you can only access that in the present moment. When you intentionally and consciously take plant medicine, it makes it much easier to come into the present moment and to find more of yourself, to find who you really are, and to see it places where you have such big misperceptions about yourself that keep you from loving yourself or thinking you deserve a good life, thinking that you're worthy of that. But of course you are. Of course you are. Because everything in you that you don't know how to love, it's only something you haven't remembered how to love. It's something you were taught. It's something you observed. It's something that life experiences when you didn't know who you were, taught you something. And now it's time for us to revisit what needs to be looked at again from a new perspective. And when we understand that we are the co-creators of our reality, we have to understand that we get to choose love. We get to. We are allowed to choose love all the time. You are allowed to choose what feels like love in you, what feels freeing, liberating, beautiful, uplifting, satisfying, something that's pure of your heart, of your soul. You get to choose those things. Reality is that loving. Source is that loving. You have the free will to choose the most loving life that you could want for yourself. And you simply have to work up into the courage to embrace that. And that means we have to sit with our fears. And sometimes our fears are very pesky. They don't like to be seen. And there are parts of us that we feel ashamed of that don't like to be seen. And we have to create experiences that allow those things to come out into the open so that we can meet them with loving awareness. And we can learn how to slow down and feel the sensations of fear in the body, of discomfort, or even pain, and we can sit with them. And we can feel the emotions and allow ourselves to express the emotions. And we can free our throat chakras by saying and expressing the things that are behind the pain, behind the fear. What can we say? And then release those emotions. And you slowly have a somatic experience in the body that is extremely healing. It heals the nervous system. It heals places that are still holding in tension and tightness and old pains and wounds. You're still holding on to them in your body. If you feel pain a lot, if you feel tight, if you struggle to stretch certain things or move certain things, or it hurts getting up, or you don't like, or whatever, all of that is just old stuff. So technically, We are shifting frequencies all the time. Your body is going through a process of death and rebirth at a rate that is kind of unfathomable, like at the atomic level. Atoms are being transformed and shifted all the time. All the time. You are constantly shifting. You are navigating individual moments within the eternal moment, because everything exists now. Everything exists now. So this body is not the same body you've ever had. And right now it's new. And right now it's new. And right now it's new. But our mind is so convinced that it's the same that if I woke up with pain today, I'm going to wake up with pain tomorrow. But when we start to convince the mind that we are consciousness, that we are creating reality, and we create those experiences that allow us to have very transformative, healing, powerful, felt transformations in the body and in the mind, then we can learn in a much more accelerated way how to live life to the fullest. And living life to the fullest doesn't mean adrenaline rush all the time. Like, no, there are exciting things that happen, but life is generally peaceful. It's good. Life is good because you know you have nothing to worry about, because you've met your eternal self. When you have met your eternal self and you embody all of that and the well-being that comes from that, then you're going to feel good. Life is going to feel good. You're going to feel better and better. I was once almost 400 pounds, terrible chronic pain for a decade, horrible anxiety and depression, bunch of vices that were unhealthy for me, whether it was food or pain pills or alcohol or whatever it was to distract myself from the pain. The past few years I've sat with plant medicine so much, especially cannabis and psilocybin, and learning to sit with myself and sit with and feel all of my emotions, feel all of my pain, feel all of everything. You remember how to heal. You are a self-healer. All people are healers. Every soul is a healer, waiting to be remembered, rediscovered. Because all healing comes from within. It doesn't come from diagnoses and pills and treatments and surgeries. Not that those things can't help us heal things, but ultimately, all of our power and all of our healing ability comes from within. We will not heal from something until we believe that we're actually worthy of receiving that. And so we have to change the way that we see ourselves, literally. We have to change our self-perception drastically. And we have to learn to understand our energy, and we have to learn to understand higher or more expanded perspectives of the truth of who we are, and that we are being offered well-being and good feeling all the time. It is only the wounded human ego that believes that's not possible, that believes life has to be suffering. No, we suffer so that we can learn how to create and choose something better for ourselves. We suffer to help heal generations in our family lines, in humanity. We suffer so that we can show others that it is possible to transform pain and agony and anguish and all these things and despair, that we can transform them over time with love. That love always wins. Love is always the best option. Love is the truth of who we are. Love is what makes existence worth living, and a life well lived is lived with loving awareness in the present moment. Slowing down into the present moment and remembering how to just feel good about ourselves right here. And when we get good enough at that, then naturally, what we are meant to be doing, what feels good to us to be doing in the world, will flow naturally from this state of being. This state of being where you trust the unknown, you're not worrying or trying to control things that you cannot control. You're not stressing out about life anymore. You just have trust because you've remembered love. You've remembered how loving of a creator you are and have supporting you. And the only things that keep us from living that way are wounded self-perceptions that we can sit with and we can heal. And we can learn to love those parts of us because they are simply misunderstood from a wounded time of our life where we did not know who we were. This is why I'm so passionate about plant medicine, because it taught me how to find myself again. It was a powerful ally. Truly, it's about your connection with Source, with God, with higher self. That's the truth. But living in this vehicle, working with it, taking care of it, there are powerful tools and allies for us to help us. And if this is something that resonates with you, if this is something that excites you because you truly do want to live a beautiful life, and you know in your heart that you're worthy of it, this may be for you. If it is, I invite you to check out the description, and there's a link. You can book a free discovery call with me. I can send you information on what these ceremonies are like even more in depth, what I offer, and really the thing I'm most excited about that I'm offering that I haven't seen a lot is I really want to be a traveling ceremony facilitator, to come to your home where you're in a safe space, where you feel comfortable, and you're able to create an experience for yourself that will change your life forever. And it really, honestly, it only takes one to make a massive difference. You may feel called to do more, you may not. But if you really want to embrace more of yourself, more of the truth of who you are, to embrace more love, this is a powerful, powerful, powerful way to do that. Much love.